This morning, a supreme showdown on Capitol Hill with Judge Brett Kavanaugh and his accuser, Christine Blasey Ford, taking center stage in separate appearances before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Ford set to publicly testify that Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her at a party in the 1980s when both were in high school. But in a timeline of allegations against Kavanaugh released by Senator Chuck Grassley's office last night, two men came forward just this week to say they believe they, quote, had the encounter with Ford in 1982, not Kavanaugh. President Trump standing by his embattled nominee.
You have a man who's very outstanding, but he's got very strong charges against him. Probably charges that nobody's going to be able to prove.
But the president admitting to NBC's Hallie Jackson, if Ford's testimony is convincing, it could change his mind about Kavanaugh.
I can always be convinced. I have to hear it.
It sounds like what you're saying is there is a situation, there is a scenario under which you would withdraw Brett Kavanaugh's nomination. Is that correct?
If I thought he was guilty of something like this, yeah, sure.
Mr. Trump also acknowledging his own experiences with multiple women accusing him of sexual assault have influenced his thinking on Kavanaugh.
It does impact my opinion. You know why? Because I've had a lot of false charges made against me. I'm a very famous person, unfortunately.
Kavanaugh, in his prepared remarks, again denying Ford's allegations, saying, quote, in retrospect, I said and did things in high school that make me cringe now. What I have been accused of is far more serious than juvenile misbehavior. I never did anything remotely resembling what Dr. Ford describes. The 11 male Republicans on the Judiciary Committee hiring veteran sex crimes prosecutor Rachel Mitchell to handle questioning on their behalf. Democratic senators will likely press Kavanaugh on his drinking habits after he told Fox News he's never been blackout drunk, casting himself as a dedicated student and athlete.
I was focused on trying to be #1 in my class and being captain of the varsity basketball team and doing my service projects, going to church.
Kavanaugh facing a new accusation this morning from Julie Swetnick, releasing a sworn statement through her lawyer, Michael Avenatti. Swetnick alleging she witnessed Kavanaugh and his friend fondling and grabbing girls without their consent at a series of house parties in the 1980s. Swetnick saying in approximately 1982, she was the victim of a gang rape. She did not directly accuse Kavanaugh of being involved in her alleged rape, but she says he was present and that she believes she had been drugged. NBC News has not independently corroborated her accusations. Kavanaugh responding, I don't know who this is, and this never happened. This morning, the Showtime cable network show The Circus releasing an exclusive clip of their interview with Swetnick.
It wasn't that I wanted to come out one day before the hearings, that just circumstances brought it out that way. This is something that occurred a long time ago, and it's not that I just thought about it. It's been on my mind ever since the occurrence.
Of the things that are in your sworn statement, are there particular things you regard as disqualifying for a Supreme Court nominee?
I think all of the above. I mean, that's not the type of behavior that anybody at any age should do. I don't think women should be treated that way, and I don't think that any human being should treat people that way.
But this is getting into the twilight zone. You're talking about Brett Kavanaugh being a serial rapist during high school, as a sophomore in high school.
So I spoke with Swetnick's attorney, Michael Avenatti, on Wednesday, and I asked him why they would wait just hours before this morning's hearing to reveal these details about her allegations. He told me that he approached the Senate Judiciary Committee over the weekend, but he did not hear back from them. He also said that his client is willing to testify publicly. Meanwhile, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell insists that the full Senate vote to confirm Judge Kavanaugh will happen tomorrow morning behind me.
All right. Craig Melvin on Capitol Hill. Thanks, Craig.